What are the main problems in Ukraine in the media sector?
Actually, one of the problems that mostly Ukrainian media market, Ukrainian media are owned by oligarchs. I mean, like big TV media, which make the biggest influence on people. Only few independent media. It means that mostly people get information from oligarch channels, of course, with their own interests, and we understand that it's very hard to reach that people with our small medias, with our investigations, because we work as investigative media. Big channels take our stories or ask about our comments only if it's good story for them and for their owners. That's how it works.
So you can add that it's not easy to make investigation journalism in Ukraine. I mean, how long do you work in this area, and is it easy?
I've been working as a journalist for I think 18 years, but as investigator for last 12 years, and I can say that now is much better times for investigative journalism in Ukraine than it was like 10 or more years ago, because it was really hard. We were like underground. Now it's better, but it's still the problem in Ukraine and in other countries in our regions that with our stories we can't reach many people. I mean, we publish something, sometimes it makes some changes, sometimes it makes some influence. It's better if we compare with 10 years ago in Ukraine, but anyway, if big channels don't want to make scandal, if big media, because of their interest of oligarchs, their owners, just being quiet after our stories, it means that only not big amount of people will know about our findings, about important things.
And what's the investigation that you're most proud of? I mean, during your career.
The most proud.
Yes.
Oh, actually, it was a lot. It depends, but I think that maybe I think the most important investigation we made with other journalists. It was team of journalists from Slitstvo Info and OSCRP. It was investigation of murder of our colleague Pavel Sheremet in Kiev. His car was bombed in Kiev 5 years ago, and we started to work right after it happened, and we collected a lot of videos from CCTV cameras, and after I think 10 months so we published our video story, our documentary about that, with our version what really happened. We found some people which police never found, and after that after we published the story, Ukrainian police admitted that they made mistake during their story, and they renewed story investigation and invited us to be part of their work. And that's why I mean, unfortunately this murder is still unsolved. But why I think it's the most important, because first it's about our colleague, we knew the journalist, and second because our story had some influence, real influence on investigation, and police admitted that they were wrong. It almost never happened in Ukraine that police admitted that someone, especially journalists, did something better than they did. You know how it works.
So, how would you comment the attempt of assassination from yesterday? From yesterday in Ukraine, it was a most criminal story, or it was a political.
It looks like it's political, but it's still investigation. The investigation is ongoing there. I think that for a long time in Ukraine we didn't have these attempts like this with top politicians or politicians or persons around top people. The person Sergei Shefir, it's a very important person because he is advisor of president, and he's very, very close to him. Especially, he's very close to business of President Zelensky. So it's very interesting to figure out who made this, because we still don't know. It was a lot of ballots there in the place. So there are a lot of versions, of course, from criminal, politician, and like maybe it was just made by themselves for taking some attention.
Version also that it's made by.
I mean, I can say that it's official version because we don't know all official version, but many people in Ukraine and activists and journalists talk about this because, as you know, Ukrainian president, he's former showman, and he is good actor, and all his team, almost all his team from TV show, moved with him to be real authority. So they are very good with making show. That's why some people, now it mostly looks like jokes, yeah, but that's why mostly people, now some people say that, oh, maybe it was just part of show or something.
So obviously in Ukraine there is a conflict between Russian interests and European interests and influence. What is your feeling? What will win in this conflict, in this battle?
For last years, after war with Russia started in Ukraine, we see that many people, mostly pro-European, they want to be part of Europe, not to be part of Russia or Soviet Union. We still have old people who, of course, miss that times, and we still have not a big amount of people who think that Russia is our friend or brother or something. Of course, it's not, because all war or problems we have in the east of Ukraine with occupied Crimea, of course, it's because of Russia. So now, for last years, we see that many people, mostly young people, want to be part of European culture, and we see all reforms going in Ukraine, and even politicians. It's not that kind of politicians like Russia or Belarus or other countries which are really still part of Soviet Union, I mean mentally, yeah. So I believe that we make a pretty big progress for last years after revolution, after last Ukrainian revolution, that we will move in European direction and will never go back to Russian.
That's your prediction, maybe, that the European integration of Ukraine will continue.
Yes, of course, I believe in it. I can't say when Ukraine will be part of European Union. Yes, no one can say this. It's pretty complicated geopolitical question. Yes, because when the European Union will be close to Russian border, it can make more problems. But of course, I believe and I see that we are moving closer to Europe.
Okay, and one last question: do Ukrainians know about Bulgaria, and does Bulgaria appear in your media?
Yes, Ukrainians know about Bulgaria. Something about summer resort in golden sands, of course. Yes, and me and my friends sometimes go to Bulgaria for skiing. I really like skiing here. If you're talking about these touristic things, and about, I think that people know about political situation, and because I work with investigations, we know that Ukrainian gangsters and criminals like to have villas and houses in Bulgaria. We found some criminals here because I know that it's not very easy to get information from registers of property here and to understand who is owner, but with our colleagues we found some criminals, Ukrainian criminals who have some property here.
But in which part of Bulgaria mainly?
I think it's Burgas. Yes, we saw there. So Ukrainian popular for young people, for criminal. Bulgaria is popular for young people, for criminals, and for Bulgaria. Sometimes it's not like the main country in our news, but I think that people understand because anyway, it's a country from. From our region, and we understand that there are many similar things we have still.